Right now, on to the point. Cleanup underway as more storms approach California. Plus, a warning about our rivers as first responders rescue a kayaker. State lawmakers now introducing first-in-the-nation reparations legislation. What's in the plan? As California anticipates a boom in its aging population, how concerns over housing, healthcare, and loneliness are being addressed. And later in the show.
In the last 3 years, I've gone from walking an hour a day with my wife to I can't walk down the street and I can't walk up the stairs.
A Sacramento Kings legend's life on the line in need of a heart transplant and a donor.
But first tonight, breaking news just into the newsroom. SAC-RT says a light rail has gone off the track. This is a live look at the area on 7th and North B Streets where it happened. They say thankfully no passengers were on the train and no other vehicles were involved. And right now the Green Line has been suspended as crews work to clear the area. Of course, we will continue to follow this story and bring you updates on air and online and our ABC 10 app. Thank you so much for joining us. This is To The Point, and I'm Alex Bell. Right now, we got more rain and snow on the way, and it comes just a day after storms brought rain, wind, and snow right to our area. And this is some of the aftermath out in Stockton. Wind took down a tree that narrowly missed a home in the downtown area. Other trees knocked out power and left debris just scattered everywhere. And then take a look at this video from Palisades Tahoe. The resort says that they got 4 inches of fresh snow, and much more is expected over the next few days. And our Garshpal Senga is live tonight in the Sierra along I-80. Garshpal, what are the conditions looking like right now?
Alex, conditions are much better than they were this time last night as it was going through the heart of the storm. Right now, what we're experiencing is just mostly on and off light snow showers. That's just what we're dealing with. Some wet roads, but a much different story than we did experience last night. But let's go show you what we experienced just about an hour and a half ago. The Sierra after this storm, absolutely beautiful as the tree covered with snow. Wherever you look, it's absolutely perfect. So that is the good news after that first storm, but people are starting to prepare for that second storm as people are trying to get over that pass before things could get worse. But snowfall is expected to increase tonight into tomorrow morning. That could result in major travel impacts. So if you're going to be driving here in the Sierra, just be careful. And also, I know a lot of skiers and snowboarders are going to try to come up here to enjoy that fresh powder over the next few days. If you're going to be coming up here, just be careful with the visibility, and also the winds could play a factor. Right now, we have absolutely no winds, so that is great news. But if you're going to be out here, just make sure you're prepared. Things are looking well right now, but we do know in the Sierra, it can change very easily. So we will continue to work this story. And again, things could change as we go into the night and into the morning. Alex?
All right, Garshpal, thank you so much. Again, heed those warnings. We will have more on the forecast coming up a little bit later in the show. But meantime, tonight, a man is in critical condition after being rescued from the Sacramento River. Our Devin Truby was on scene this morning, and rescue crews are encouraging people to stay out of rising waters.
First responders in action along the Sacramento River Thursday morning after reports of a man capsized his kayak.
There were workers up at a local marina that noticed there was a person in the water separated from their capsized kayak. At that point, they called 911.
Those workers at the marina near Chevy's on Garden Highway went into action themselves, throwing a life ring at the victim 3 times, but he was too weak to grab it. Firefighters pulled the unconscious man from the cold water. He was rushed to the hospital. Captain Justin Silva says the victim was not wearing a life jacket. He says combined with the river flow is a recipe for disaster.
So the current of the water is very high right now. We have high river flows due to all the rainfall.
The rainfall and subsequent river levels are exactly why first responders across the region are ready for water rescues just like this one.
If we do see rising rivers, we will have our boats out and we'll make sure utilizing our PA system to tell folks that are potentially living along the river to get up and out of harm's way.
In the foothills, the El Dorado County Swift Water Rescue Unit is ready as well.
Up in our area, we have seasonal creeks that definitely swell with increased water flow and rain, and people utilize those roadways, and this time of year is just not a good option.
Yeah, and the Swift Water team say that they anticipate rescuing more stranded drivers with these storms the rest of the week. In other news tonight, a former college professor has pleaded guilty to 3 counts of arson on federal property. Investigators say that Gary Maynard admitted to setting fires behind firefighters while they battled the Dixie Fire. They say he also admitted to setting 4 other wildfires in July and August of 2021. Now, he faces up to 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for each count. Tonight, in what's being called historical, state lawmakers introduced more than a dozen bills to give restitution to Black Americans. California is the first state to even attempt to turn recommendations from a reparations task force into law. The new bills, if they become law, would help increase homeownership for Black Californians, give property tax relief, expand access to training and education, and the state would have to issue a formal apology for human rights violations. But none of the proposed new laws include cash compensation, which some advocates are not on board with.
We're hoping and looking forward to additional legislation that includes direct monetary payments directly to descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States. We're also looking forward to the creation of a reparations agency that will actually help people apply for reparations.
Chris Logston says that he's a descendant of slaves and takes this personally. He believes lawmakers have the ability to do more. And lawmakers say that these measures still have an uphill battle before they make it to a vote in both houses and eventually to the governor's desk. Coming up onto the point, California's aging population is booming. What the state is doing about it.
We're tracking scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, what we can see tomorrow, and when we will expect that next storm system to bring the biggest impacts.
And later, a Sacramento Kings legend's life on the line. His fight to find a donor for a heart transplant.
It's particularly tough for me to think about that because my dad died on the transplant list because of his size.
All right, a lot going on in our forecast. Let's get things over to Carly. This is where we're seeing a break right now. If people do want to head to the Sierra, right now is the time to do it.
Right, as we saw in Garsh Paul's live shot there in the Sierra, that snow has stopped. It's kind of a winter mix right now, but if you're looking to head over, you do have a small window. I'd say get over before about 10:30 p.m. You are pushing it if you're getting there at 11, but hey, you may still have a chance. And if you are going, make sure you're carrying chains because that'll be important in case anything happens, as well as some blankets, extra food in case you have to stay in your car. But take a look at the window. It's right around here all the way down as you see a lot of scattered showers near the Bay Area. We had some thunderstorms really heavy and pushing through Modesto. That is now slowed down and most of that heavy rain pushing towards Sonora now. We will expect to see a little bit of a break, but into the early morning hours, that's where we're seeing some heavy snow developing. For the Sierra, could be as low as 3,500 feet, but most of that will be accumulating above 6,000 feet. That low pressure will continue to shift toward the east, and most of those little scattered showers will continue for your Friday. Very similar day to what we saw today, but that is the next storm system out to sea. That's going to be tapping into a nice, solid atmospheric river with a lot of moisture as we start moving from Sunday and Monday toward Wednesday. Now, as we look at 2 a.m., that snow continues to accumulate as we'll see it pushing down to around 4,000 feet at that point. And then more scattered showers on and off through that morning commute. So it could be pretty heavy for some people heading into work. Then we'll see more of the scattered showers on and off throughout the day, getting heavy at times for the Sierra on your Friday. So prepare for that. If you had plans, you have a much better shot at heading to the Sierra on Saturday as things slow down. Then the next storm system arrives on Sunday. Winter storm warning will be in effect at least till 4 a.m. on Saturday. Then you have the rest of Saturday to do whatever you need. Travel delays are expected with snow levels dropping pretty low and reduced visibility. Now, as we take a look at potential snow totals in just the next 24 hours, we're looking about a 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of rain. And then moving on from the next storm system, we could see as much as 3 inches of rain in the valley. Your 10-day forecast bringing the mid to low 50s out there with more showers with the next storm system. Then looking like a dry weekend the following weekend.
Thanks, Carly. Next on To the Point, addressing the boom in California's aging population, what the state is doing about it. Plus, a Sacramento Kings legend in need of a heart transplant. His story and the challenge to find a donor. All right, California's population is aging fast. In the next decade, state officials say 1 in every 5 Californians will be at least 65 years old. And that's really causing concern about housing, healthcare, and a whole lot more. So Becca Habegger is taking a look at what's being done and how we can all prepare for the future.
On a recent rainy weekday, I met up with Susan Bosco-Starcevich of Mutual Housing California and Sherry Williams, who lives in one of Mutual Housing's apartment communities specifically for low-income seniors.
I'm very fortunate, very happy to be in that particular senior community.
Sherry Williams is a Sacramento senior who recently experienced homelessness. She now lives at Lavender Courtyard in Midtown.
It's hard living on a fixed income, but having the programs like this definitely help. Otherwise, there's no way that one would even be able to live.
On this day, we toured the 150-unit Wong Center, still under construction. It's one of several apartment communities for low-income seniors that are in Mutual Housing's pipeline. It's set to open this summer next to the Sacramento rail yards.
The population of seniors being homeless now, it just amazes me.
For more than a year, Williams experienced homelessness, living in her vehicle and then the Meadowview Navigation Center Women's Shelter before moving into Lavender Courtyard when it opened in 2022.
Every one of us have different circumstances, different reasons as to why we personally end up where we are. Some were unhoused because of the pandemic, the rising cost of being able to afford a place to live. You know, most seniors don't make enough money.
And the fact then that, you know, the option is homelessness or being moved out of a home maybe you've lived in for a long time and just, you know, being alone and scared. And there's a lot of housing problems, but I think our seniors in particular need an affordable place to live.
The state's Department of Aging says between 2010 and 2060, the population of people 60 and older will increase by 166%. The number of those 85 and older will more than quadruple in these counties in red, triple in orange, and more than double in yellow.
We'll start with your weight right here.
Over at the UC Davis Healthy Aging Clinic in East Sacramento, Dr. Rebecca Boxer's mind is on senior health care.
There's a number of issues that start to all come together with older adults as they age. It has to do with multiple chronic conditions, difficulties that can surround psychosocial issues. The other big one I would add is medications.
You know, what are the challenges facing California as we see an increasing number of folks who are age 65 and plus with that trend only going upward?
It's going to be tough. Affordable housing for older adults. There's going to be a great need for caregiving for those older adults and also for the older adults themselves caring for their partners.
She's concerned about not just physical health, but also people's emotional and mental well-being.
We're going to have to really think about how do we help older adults who are becoming socially isolated and lonely. Loneliness is very much associated with bad outcomes for older adults, and it's incredibly common.
Something Sherry Williams knows firsthand.
Because I've lost my husband, my parents, and it gets lonely. You know, it gets really lonely.
She says social programs offered at Lavender Courtyard help so she can experience a sense of community with her neighbors. Dr. Boxer encourages people to make plans for declining health and mobility sooner rather than later.
Many people don't think it's going to happen to them, that they're going to need extra support, that they're going to need assistance, and it sometimes takes them by surprise and they're not ready. If we're talking about those entering the 60s and 65 and older, that's a time where usually people are pretty healthy and they're functional and they can enjoy things in life. The trouble starts often 85 and older. And so that's often what we're seeing in the geriatrics program here is people who are in that older age group and start to have issues that we really can help them manage.
And Becca joins us now. I want to say, Sherry, thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, this is such an important topic. And we do want to mention there are free resources available for people to talk about aging in a healthy way.
Yeah, Alex, this is so cool. You know, UC Davis Health offers a free virtual mini medical school, and it's all via Zoom. It's every Saturday morning in the month of February. You'll hear from doctors and other experts on topics ranging from choices that support healthy aging to protecting our brains as we age and managing health conditions and medical medications, that is. You know, we've put a link to where you can sign up, again, to this free mini medical clinic at abc10.com/links.
Yes, and I do want to talk about affordable housing. We know that's another big issue for the older population as well sometimes.
Absolutely. You know, the Wong Center, which you saw in that story, it's for people 55 and older. It does now have a wait list, but Mutual Housing California encourages people to apply since that wait list can move quickly.
Yeah, and you can read more about Becca's story, including the state plan that's working to address this right now. We have it up right now on abc10.com. All right, some other stories that caught our eye today. For the first time, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is speaking publicly about his prostate cancer that left him in the hospital for days. His diagnosis and treatment was kept secret from the public, including President Biden. But tonight, Secretary Austin says it was a mistake and explains why he made the decision.
Among the black community, though, it's even more a thing that people want to keep private. And again, it's more about privacy than secrecy.
Austin says that he wants to use this opportunity now to raise awareness, saying that men should get screened and get their regular checkups. As for his health, Austin is still undergoing physical therapy. Tonight, a Sacramento Kings legend's life is on the line. Scott Pollard needs a heart transplant, but his height is making it even more difficult to find a donor. Tonight, he's sharing his story.
I'm 6'11" and 300, so I'm a big man.
To find a match, Scott Pollard will need an uncommonly large donor heart. The former NBA star turns 49 this month. Doctors say his failing heart doesn't have many birthdays left.
He's obviously extremely sick. He's amongst the sickest on hearts because he's on a transplant list.
Doctors say a virus acquired 3 years ago, coupled with genetics, accelerated Scott's decline.
Good catch.
Still got hands.
He's now one of 66 adults waiting for a heart in his home state of Indiana.
It's particularly tough for me to think about that because my dad died on the transplant list because of his size.
His dad, Pearl Ison Pollard, died at 54, 69 and 380 pounds. He played D1 basketball. Scott was 16, and his worst fear is repeating family history.
But I have a 16-year-old, and my dad I was 16. I have a 7-year-old. Sorry, hold on.
Scott knows losing a parent too soon can be too much.
I was angry the entire time because my dad never got to see me succeed, and that drove me.
Scott played college ball for the Jayhawks, was drafted 19th into the NBA, spending 11 years in the league with several teams, including the Sacramento Kings.
I liked playing for all of them. It was better than working for a living.
Pollard stood out for his splashy mohawks and man buns. His celebrity status and big personality landed him a spot on Survivor in Cambodia. Fans adoringly called him Samurai Scott and worse.
You can get a lot of stones thrown at you, especially when you're a public figure. You're an NBA player, fans are mean. And when you're on Survivor, fans are meaner. Social media is a beast.
Scott recently took to social media to break his medical news, saying in part, "I'm home now, waiting for a donor."
He's got a lot of people that love him and want to see him heal and get better. And I mean, we all want that.
Nationwide, 3,365 adults are waiting for a heart. They are organized at status 1 to 7. 1 is the sickest. Scott, now a status 4.
A lot of stars have to align, but we are confident that we or another institution will be able to help him get to his ultimate goal, which would be a heart transplant.
Scott is the father of 4 children. What does he hope they see in him?
Not this. What do I want them to see? Not this. I'm not me. This is awful. It's embarrassing. It's emasculating. I don't have much of a purpose right now. I just sit around making sure I'm doing things the right way, not leaving my family too soon. Doing everything I can to be around for them longer.
And we do want to say thank you to our sister station in Indianapolis for helping share Pollard's story with us. And the NBA legend, he is continuing to share his heart transplant journey on social media. Right now, he's at the University of Chicago getting tests so he can get on their list. He says next goal is to get on the one at Vanderbilt University. Next on To The Point, the new year means a newly crowned Miss Hmong California, how she plans to represent the community. All right, a new year comes with a newly crowned Miss Hmong California, and with a large Hmong community right here in Sacramento. The current title holder has a lot of work on her hands to not only represent her community, but accomplish goals set for the year. So coming up tomorrow on To The Point, Stephanie Xiong was recently crowned this year's Miss Hmong California during the Sacramento Hmong New Year celebration. After weeks of intense competition, Xiong says that it was all worth it in order to proudly represent her culture. And now she has a very long goals list that she wants to accomplish while holding this title.
My goal is to raise awareness about autism, and with that, I want to build more knowledge in the community and provide advocacy for those who aren't able to voice themselves. With my platform, I want to build social communication skills for the youth.
And you can hear how she plans to meet her goals tomorrow right here on To The Point. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This show is all about bringing you more context and information to issues impacting us right here in Northern California. So if there is something that you think that we should be looking into, make sure you reach out to me and the team. You can always email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.